and their profit margins start to go down. The economy slows down, and from there, inflation would go down. But it also prevents the broader markets within stocks and crypto in expanding. In addition to that, higher interest rates can make fixed income investments like bonds a lot more attractive. So people will tend to stay away from what you call riskier investments like the stocks and crypto. So investors may shift more towards just saving their money instead of putting it into the markets. And that usually results in the markets not doing much at all. And that's exactly what we've seen happen with crypto over the past 2 months. So apart from those raising interest rates, there's also another tool that I need to mention, and this is what the Federal Reserve uses to combat inflation, and it's called quantitative tightening. So quantitative tightening is essentially a tool that the Federal Reserve uses to take money out of the economy when there's just too much of it. It's pretty much like reversing all the money printing that they've been doing over the course of the pandemic, but you have to keep in mind, quantitative tightening in the United States started in June of last year, and if it's not managed properly, it actually has a risk of completely destabilizing the financial markets and tanking stocks and crypto even more. This is actually what led to the banking crisis, where 3 out of the 4 largest bank failures in the U.S. have all happened for the year of 2023. So due to aggressive interest rate hikes, many banks that were unprepared and over-leveraged are running into liquidity issues. Some of these banks are still losing money now. If the place where we store money, like these banks that should never have issues, are running out, that causes more fear into the market, and that plays a role into how often people may want to put their money into exchanges. The consensus here, though, is that interest rates are still rising, and it seems like this is how it's going to remain throughout the year of 2024. If the banks are struggling, though, just 3 to 6 months back, imagine how worse it could be off in a year from now. It's not just that, though, but economists, businessmen, and women from market experts all across the industry have all been predicting a recession to begin in Q4 of this year. Then they're also expecting the full-blown recession to come out in early 2024. And these individuals are just not your everyday Jim Cramers, but it's even big businesses and banks like Deutsche Bank, which is quoting a 100% probability of a U.S. recession starting. We also even had a British banking giant, HSBC, warning of a recession beginning in Q4 of 2023. Now, in addition to those 2 big banks, we even had Elon Musk claiming that further rate hikes is going to trigger a severe recession, and even Michael Burry from The Big Short warning of another recession happening at the end of this year. So apart from the poor current economic conditions, many people are still pointing out that the U.S. is due for a recession and that it never actually fully took place. Based on historical data, it turns out the United States has entered a recession every 4 to 10 years, and the last real recession was between 2007 to 2009. So it actually means that it's been about 14 years since we got another real recession. And by the way, the reason I'm saying real recession is because we technically had a 2-month long recession in February of 2020 to April 2020 during the peak of the COVID pandemic, but that wasn't a natural recession. That was more induced by our government from those lockdowns. Now, on the other hand of that, though, we have been hearing we should have been in a recession pretty much every month for this year, and it still hasn't happened. And it could just end up being that the recession was very short-lived, and that from now we have another bull run, and maybe this is like a season where we skip this recession and then we just push it back for another 10 years or so. That would be the most ideal. I would love that. If y'all would love that too, let me know down below. Now, I personally would love that, and that's because it gives me another opportunity to make more money that hopefully we can cash out and then rebuy at the bottom of the market. But guys, with things like timing the market, even the best of the best cannot do it at every time. So big easy tip is to just continue dollar cost averaging into the market no matter what, and especially during times like now where the markets are slow. Now, the past few months, there have also been more developments happening within the regulation space for crypto. For example, crypto is meant to be decentralized, offer privacy in financial transactions, and it's supposed to be that peer-to-peer payment system we've talked a lot about. But it looks like with new crypto legislation, it could prevent all of that from becoming a reality. This is because we can get
Hello, everyone. How are we doing? Nice to see you all. Welcome. For the new people, I don't know if we have any new. Let me see. Let me look at the names here. I mean, we have new members every single week. If you're new to this call, we have these calls every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Just give me a sec here. Hold on. Can everyone hear me okay? If you have your camera on, thumbs up. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was just having some connection issues. And so I just want to make sure I'm not choppy or anything. But if you can hear me well, then awesome. Okay, cool. All right, so where's everyone tuning in from? I know we have Canadians in here. My Americans. Where's everyone else tuning in from? Or maybe we have people from elsewhere. I don't know. Let me look at the chat. Canada, Texas, Toronto. Cool. Okay. Awesome. The beach. Johan, are you surfing today? Nice. Okay. Well, as you know, first of all, welcome. Again, anyone tuning in, I have the waiting room off, but we have these sessions every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and every session is hosted by a different educator leader here in Champions. Of course, Champions is the name that we have for our team. More of like a champions mindset, champions mentality, always winning. Like we always say, we're top two, but not two. And I know those of you that know Christian, that's his line, his famous line. But it's true. And I totally agree. And that's why I love the champions name. And, those of you that have been focused more on the investing and trading side, that we have a lot of great products, services, tools, education in the back office, which you definitely should be leveraging. We have a lot of amazing channels, of course, depending on your membership, depending on your package. You get access to different channels and the AI, of course, which I'm going to be talking about a little bit afterwards. Because I've received a few questions about the AI, and so I just want to make things clear. And today we'll be talking about my favorite topic, if you haven't guessed it. We'll talk about crypto and more insights on what's going on in the crypto space, because those of you that have been involved in crypto, it's been pretty slow the last 2 years. If you entered into the crypto space during its, I don't want to call it its peak, but I guess when everyone was excited about it, which was early 2021. Who remembers the crypto space? Like, who remembers how crypto was in 2021? Like, who was, I know some of you started after that, and maybe you weren't as involved or as aware, but who remembers? Anyone? No? So none of you were looking at crypto before joining the platform? Okay. Yeah, Edwin, of course. Yeah, I remember that. Edwin had a crazy, like very interesting success story, testimonial, if you call it. And I remember us here in Toronto, like we saw it like with our eyes, like we saw it. It was insane. And I remember during that period, I feel like that's a period also when Elon Musk started to, you know, I guess gain more popularity and whatever he says goes type of thing, which isn't good. You don't want to just follow people on social media blindly. Yeah, the Doge days, of course. And I swear people were buying the dogs just because of Dogecoin. Um, but yeah, let's talk a little bit of what's been going on. Of course, let's rewind it back a bit, which by the way, I was thinking of doing like a introduction to crypto today in terms of like terms that you guys should know of, especially if you're new to the crypto space, because there's a lot of terminology involved in like the financial markets, you know, and especially in the crypto space, especially people use certain terminology to describe certain things. And if you're not aware of it, you might be a little confused of like, oh, what does this mean? And I always like the team to be aware of the terminology because let's say you're I don't know, you're at an event or you're somewhere, you're networking or you're having a conversation and you hear someone say something and you hear a word that is commonly used in the crypto space, let's say, you'll know like, oh, this person knows crypto. Let me talk to them. Let me see, you know, like how much experience they have. Um, I was thinking of doing that, but I just didn't know how many new members we would have on today's call because, you know, it's something that the older ones have seen. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, I can go over basic terminology. What I had was like a full out presentation that I did, which is actually on the Champions YouTube channel, by the way. If you're subscribed to the Champions YouTube channel, a lot of the past trainings are there, which mine, I believe, is there too, but it's like really old. I think you'd have to scroll back to like the beginning of the year. So what I'm gonna do is yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go over some quick updates. Yeah, I'm gonna go over some quick updates. I'm just gonna pull up a website right here. Who is into crypto, by the way? Just so I get an idea. Because I know we have some of like the Forex people here too. Both. Cool. Out of curiosity, who's into stocks? Let me check the chat here. Yes, stocks. Scared. Why are you scared for stocks, Nico? Oh, brand new to it. Okay. See, that's the thing. I was actually because I have so many ideas for these trainings. I know Edwin always like goes in like his trainings are super killer. Who else do we have doing these trainings? I'm trying to think. Is it just me and Edwin right now? And Christian sometimes will hop on. We never got to get some more girls doing these, you know. Um, but stocks actually, I was very well versed with stocks because I was working at the bank and I was like, that's all I knew. And so I explored, I dabbled into it and I was very familiar. And then obviously I got introduced to Forex and then I got introduced to crypto, which I fell in love with crypto. Um, the stock market is pretty interesting and I feel like having a training on the stock market would be pretty cool, just like the basics, especially for those of you that aren't too familiar with it. I think of it more as like I mean there's different ways um to make money, of course, in the financial markets. But for those of you especially that aren't too familiar with the stock market, perhaps a champions you call on like the basics of it to get you a bit familiar. I mean, we have stuff in the back office in the university, so you can definitely check those out. But I feel like maybe a more interactive thing, looking at different stocks would be cool. Not today though. Not today. Not today. Okay. So let me pull up the website here if it loaded. Hold on. And I know we have some new people. So who can tell me what crypto is? Anyone in the chat want to tell me? Michelle letting new people answer. I like that. I like that. Decentralized currency. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't want Edwin to answer because Edwin, like, he knows everything. So let's let some of the new people answer here. So Michelle, you're right. Okay. I mean, it is, yeah, but what else? What else can you tell me? Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's digital currency, so it's not physical, okay? It's it's decentralized in the sense of like peer-to-peer transactions are very simple. So as an example, let's say Nico, if I wanted to send him $1,000 worth of Bitcoin, I could just transfer it to him easily, no problem. I don't need to go to a bank. I don't need to go through any type of like middle person verification. Because at the banks, as an example, it's me, especially having worked there, it can get pretty complicated where it's like if you want to send money somewhere, it takes a few days depending on the amounts. And there's obviously verification processes, sometimes complications. I remember when I used to have customers do wire transfers at the bank, and the one little detail that's wrong in the information, the address, the whatever it is that the bank asked for, the transfer basically gets canceled, sent back. It's very complicated when there's a middle person involved or a party, you know. And so with crypto, it's just peer to peer, easily done, and you don't have to worry about anything. So yeah, Michelle, if I wanted to send $1,000 to Nico, I'm sure he'd like that. Yeah. No, 1,000. I said dollars, not 1,000 Bitcoin. Imagine, Michelle. I would not send that to him. Yeah, no. But yeah, so I mean, crypto is digital currency. Bitcoin is the first of its kind, and any other coin. What do we call the other coins? Does anyone know? What do we call the other coins? So like coins, like let's say, like if you're looking at Cardano, all the other cryptocurrencies, XRP, what do we call these? What do we call these coins? What's the name for them that we use when we want to talk about them? Michelle, Michelle's dying. No, Michelle, let's give them a chance. Johan, excellent. He got it. Altcoins. And they're called altcoins because it's like alternate, like alternative coin. So Bitcoin is its own, like its own. It's the first one. And then any coin is obviously we refer to them as altcoins. So if you hear people say altcoin season, who's heard that term or who's heard that used before, altcoin season, they're talking about the other cryptocurrencies. So we'll go over some terminology here, but it's good to know. It's good to know because if you go somewhere and you hear, and this is for all of you, because again, especially those doing the business side, it's good to have those conversations But if you hear someone, let's say you're at a Tim Hortons or you're at a restaurant, or you, because there's a lot of times I've been out and I hear, like, as soon as I hear the word crypto, I could not be listening to someone's conversation. But if someone says the word crypto, it immediately catches me. And I'm like, wait, they're talking about crypto. So even if you hear the term altcoin, someone's talking about altcoins, you'll know, okay, they're talking about cryptocurrency. And so that's good to know. And then let's say if someone is talking about who's heard the term hodl. HODL. What does that mean? This is good for you guys to know. What does it mean? While I pull up the website, I'll give you guys a chance to answer. Nico, did you Google it? Yeah, so oh, notes, perfect. Yeah, so HODL is basically it's a term used by people in the crypto community where it's like let's say, oh, I'm HODLing, let's say Bitcoin. It just means, look, keep in mind, especially if you are using the stuff that we have here with iGenius, there's different ways to make money in the crypto space. The way that everyone, the universal way that everyone knows is just putting money into, let's say, Bitcoin and then just leaving it there. You're basically holding it. You're not trading, you're not doing anything. You're just putting $100 into whatever cryptocurrency and you're just leaving it there, forgetting about it, and then hoping that the price goes up, so the value goes up, and then you're making profits. And a lot of people do that. Whenever I've had conversations with people that start in the crypto space, they always say, yeah, I have money in Ethereum or Bitcoin. And so they're just holding it there. A lot of people say hodl because especially during times where things are, up and down, and especially during these periods, you'll hear a lot of people say, they're just hodling. Of course, there's dollar cost averaging too, which we're not going to get into today, which is something I practice. And it's good to take out healthy profits when you have a crypto portfolio. And again, that's something that we won't go over today, but it's good to do that, especially the way I like to do it. I'm not saying you have to do this because some people don't like doing that. They literally just hodl for dear life. But I like doing it because then I take out healthy profits and then I could put it back into something else. That's me, but I haven't done that recently only because of how the market's going. Now into 2021, I was definitely doing that a lot. But right now, I would say is a period where the crypto space isn't too active. But there are many predictions as to where the crypto space is going. Now, do you guys think, excuse me, who knows what a bear market and a bull market is? Because I want to lead into conversation of that because there are many predictions as to what can happen. A lot of people are saying, oh, we're going to enter into a bull market very soon. And then there's other people speculating, well, yes, that can be. However, there are also other factors that might keep it at a bear market. So who can tell me what a bull and bear is? Yeah, like what does it necessarily mean when we're in a bear and a bull market? Benjamin, bull price rising, bear price dropping. Yeah. Cool. Awesome, Blake. You guys got it. You're on point. So that's basically what it is. And so a lot of people obviously are waiting for the bull run, as we like to call it. There are a lot of reasons why that can happen. So I remember at the end of 2021, it was who said it? It was a big figure in the crypto space that said Bitcoin was going to reach 100K, and a lot of people were super hyped about that. that didn't happen. It didn't happen. It dropped and it kept dropping. I remember when Bitcoin, what was the highest that it was in 2021? I could just look at the chart right now. I wish I knew off the top of my head. But I remember, obviously, when we look at the price, we look at it in US. Those of you that have Shake Pay, you're looking at in Canadian. But it was really, really high. Like super, I remember like 60, it was at 60K, like really high. Now it's like what, 20, 25? It's dropped a lot. So a lot of people are wondering, you know, when is it gonna hit, you know, the 50K mark, the 100K mark again? They're saying, oh, by the end of 2024, it's gonna go past 100K. Who knows? There are reasons how there are a few reasons why, and I'm gonna share my screen. There are a few reasons why, possibilities as to why we would be entering into a bull market. Hold on a sec. And I'm going to explain them to you. And I'm also going to share a reason why we perhaps wouldn't be. Okay. So I like using CoinMarketCap because here you can see everything. And I remember not the first training I did on crypto, but a couple months back, the number was below 1 million. It was like 800 something thousand, I think, or 900 something thousand. And that's when I spoke about, many of you probably remember, those of you that are here for the first time, you're going to be hearing this for the first time. That's when I spoke about, I think it was one of the execs from Ripple that had said that he believes that 99% of cryptocurrencies are going to get wiped out. Now, initially, when you hear that, you panic and you think, oh, well, if 99% of cryptocurrencies are going to get wiped out, then what's the point of getting into the crypto space? It's not gonna be profitable. But if you really think about it, if you really think about the total number of cryptocurrencies, 99%, what's left over, the 1%, is actually still a lot. And this is something I always like to do every single call. And especially because we have new people, I want to do the same. Who can list some cryptocurrencies that you can think about off the top of your head? I want you to list some cryptocurrencies. And don't worry, I'm not gonna pick on you if you list one that is, you know, not a good one. Just as I remember that time I picked on CO, but just list any cryptocurrencies that come on the top of your head. Like what can you list? And there's a point to this, and I want to make a point. Who can name some? Sol, E, Pepe, that Pepe. BTC, okay, Doge, XRP. I want to see who can list the most. Hold on. Benjamin has 2, 4, 6. Okay. Michelle has 2, 4, 6. Okay, so most of you can list up to 6. Even, let's just say you listed 10. Okay. Even if you could list 10 off the top of your head, that is actually a lot less than 1%. So even if 99% of cryptocurrencies got wiped out, it's really 99% of the trash getting wiped out. You don't need the trash coins. You know, the coins that have no actual utility. What does utility mean? When we look at different projects to invest in, and this is where crypto can differ a bit like when you do forex trading, you're trading the different currencies. It's with crypto, you got to look at other things. Okay, if especially if you're looking at projects that are sustainable and that are more promising. If you encounter a coin, let's say the coin is called um I don't know, blue coin as an example, but there's no real utility to that blue coin. It's just the coin, and there's just hype around it, and there's people promoting it, and maybe the logo looks cool and it's attractive, but there's no actual real sushi coin, but there's no real utility. There's not an actual project behind it, so that's a coin that would probably get wiped out. It's not something that is long term. It's not something that you'd want to invest in long term. A lot of people go for pump and dumps, which isn't good. Again, the whole idea behind that, like scam coins or meme coins. Meme coins, I mean, as long as you do your due diligence and you're aware that it's not something that's an actual investment, it's literally gambling, and you're aware that whatever money you're putting in there, chances are you could lose it. Like, it's good to be aware of that stuff. And I've seen people make money off meme coins, but I don't consider those investments. What I would consider long-term investments, if I want to hold, is cryptocurrencies that have, like, for example, for me, XRP is something that I've been holding since 2021, a bit before that. Sorry, excuse me. So yeah, that's something that I believed in, even through the whole lawsuit situation, which, by the way, they won. I strongly believed in it, and a lot of people didn't. But that's another thing. Another reason why things could go up in the crypto space is because of their win that they had. Because then a lot of exchanges felt confident to list XRP again. And so with that, with more exchanges listing XRP, where you can buy into it now, because before it was really hard to find it, and like they're taking it off their exchanges, that can create a good thing for the crypto space, where it could contribute to a bull run or a bull market. Another thing is what's the other thing? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. What was it? It completely slipped my mind. But that's one of the reasons why. And then, as an example, one of the reasons why perhaps it wouldn't, what's happening in the economy right now. Whatever happens in the economy, this is a thing. People say we are in a bear market right now, but is it an actual real bear market, or is it something that was made because of COVID? Because of course, with COVID and all the things that were happening there, the governments putting all, their restrictions, and it created what's happening right now. So it's not something that, I guess, stemmed naturally from the financial markets. And so some people can debate, well, was it a real bear market? And because I looked very deeply into crypto news, and I'm very much on crypto Twitter, I guess X now. And I'm always looking at different opinions. I'm always looking at different analysis to see, like, what does this person think? What does that person think? Because I'm very much into the crypto space. And so obviously whatever is involved, whatever's going on in the economy can affect how crypto moves. And every so often, there's always been a bear market. People are talking about a stock market crash. And they've been talking about that for the past couple of months, saying that it's going to be the worst one yet. A lot of, even Robert Kiyosaki is talking about it a lot. And, a lot of people are worried about that. And there's, again, different opinions. with the last stock market crash, a lot of people panicked and pulled out their money. The ones that didn't and kept it there, yeah, like they obviously didn't experience growth, but after all that passed, after a few years, then their portfolios grow. So one thing I do want to tell you all, especially those of you that are new to this space, those of you with experience, you've heard this before, but those of you that are new to investing and trading, especially investing, you have to remember that it's not gambling, and you always have to put money that you're willing to lose, because anything can happen. And this is the same. So this actually reminds me of crypto. So crypto elite. So the AI that we have, the AI, I'm a big fan of that because it's basically like you're putting your money to work and you don't have to worry about a thing. There are a few things I want to share though, because this is something that I was actually taught at the bank when I was working there, and it makes sense, and it's something that applies even here. So a lot of times the younger you are, and I'm not saying young like early 20s, it could be 20s, 30s, 40s, and that type of period, you can afford, especially in your 20s and 30s, I'd like to say, you could afford high risk investments. But when you reach a point where, let's say, you're past maybe 65, especially people that are retiring. I remember when I was working at the bank, I would always promote the higher risk portfolios if a customer would tell me, yeah, like I'm looking for this, this, and this. Obviously, I'm not going to give a high risk portfolio to someone that is not risk tolerant, and the same thing applies to crypto. So the AI is great, but I've been hearing a lot of I've been getting a lot of questions of like, who is the AI good for? Now, I would say the AI, there's a lot of different options. There's like high risk, low risk in between. But if you're looking at people that maybe are in an age group where like the money they've worked for, it's best to not, this is my opinion, by the way, based on my experience. And because I had 5 years dealing with investments at the bank, you don't really want to put people in that age group into those type of investments, because especially in the crypto space, you've seen the numbers that we do with the AI, which is great. But realistically, there could be a year where maybe it's not the best. And what if that year is the year where they really need their money? Whereas the younger we are, we could afford to not have that money for X amount of years. But imagine someone that's like, I'm just going to say a random number. Imagine someone that's like 80 years old, 80 years old, and like they put like 5 grand into an investment, whether it's AI, whether it's at the bank, whether it's somewhere else. And like 80 years old is not, there's not a lot of time. I would like to hope they have a lot of time, but realistically, they're in a point in life where they need to do their investments, maybe not as high risk, or if they want to do high risk stuff, that's up to them. But I remember at the bank, we weren't allowed to do that. Like if someone wanted to do something that went against their, like where they are in terms of like income and age, and because there's quizzes we actually would make people take before opening an investment account. If they wanted something that was against what was recommended, we weren't allowed to do it. But obviously it's because the banks want to protect themselves. Because then people will be like, oh, well, this person did this, and now I'm losing my money. And so obviously the banks are very strict. But I learned a lot from that, because again, depending on the age group, you want to make sure that you're recommending the right things. And I mean, if they want to hold crypto, cool. And anyone could do that. But at the same time, be aware that whatever money they're putting in, there has to be money that they're willing to be without. And yeah, because crypto has a lot of movements, and you've seen the last 2 years. If someone had bought into the hype of Bitcoin in 2021, and let's say they put in 5 grand, oh, forget it. Let's just say they put in 10 grand into Bitcoin when it was like at 60K. Imagine now, they're probably pulling out their hair because they bought into the hype and they didn't really understand how it works. And in their minds, they're thinking, oh, crypto's a scam. I put money in it and look, I lost money. At the end of the day, you didn't really lose money unless you actually pull out. For all you know, it could go back up in the next few months and this person actually profits and it goes past 60, maybe it goes to 100K. But at the end of the day, that's where we have to make sure we're educating people properly. Because things like that can happen. And there's a lot of people that buy into hype like that. And I've seen it. I remember in 2021 when things were super hyped with crypto, and I was making a lot of crypto content actually on TikTok. I saw a lot of people say, yeah, I put in this amount and I lost it. Because again, they bought into the hype. They bought into the hype of it. Same thing with all the other cryptocurrencies and that were getting all hyped up, Doge especially. A lot of people jump on the train when it's too late, but that's why it's good that you guys are here, because a reason why people are early, reason why people make money is because they're early. And how are they early? Because they're aware of what's going on. And so if you actually educate yourself properly on what's happening in these different markets, then you'll be able to pick up things. So some of you are more focused on Forex, which is totally cool. And I actually started off with Forex, and learning Forex actually made my crypto journey a lot easier, by the way, in terms of understanding things. But at the end of the day, you have to realize that it's like you need to understand basics. Like we always say, you don't need to be like the best in math or numbers when it comes to leveraging, let's say, alerts or AI or things like that, because it's like an expert doing it for you. But you still want to know the basics. You want to understand, and also it is good to have conversations. So if you're around people that are talking about crypto and you pick something up, you want to help educate people. That's cool, and that's why we have these sessions every week on the different markets. Now, generally, we talk mainly about crypto and Forex. We haven't really spoken about stocks, but I think it'd be cool if we did. But yeah, I mean, it's really that. And so this is a website, CoinMarketCap, for those of you that are not familiar, where you can find a lot of info. You could see the charts, Bitcoin, of course, number one. But you can see the different cryptocurrencies. And going back to that of what I said, how 99% of cryptocurrencies are going to get wiped out. There's a lot of cryptocurrencies that don't exist anymore. And if you really look at the historical data, hold on a sec. Let's say, who wants to pick a date for me? Is there a date like randomly? Just make it a bit fun here. January 25th. Is that your birthday, CEO? Where's January? How come I can't see January? Oh, here. Well, I'm on 2014, so this is close enough. Let's do the 26th. Okay. So look, this is January 26th, 2014. If you guys remember the list that I was showing, which is the 2023 snapshot that I'd like to call it. If you look at this, there's a lot of cryptocurrencies here that when you look at the name, you don't even recognize it. And when you look at the list of today, it's totally different. Of course, Bitcoin is always number one. But even number two is a different spot today. And if you look at, let's say, the top 10, completely different. So like really pay attention right now and look at the top 10, let's say here. And now let's go back to 2000. Let's go back to let's go back to today. Different. And that's what I mean. And even if we go further back, you're going to see different names. And it's just to my point, if you ever see or hear someone talk about, oh yeah, crypto, it's going to get wiped out, it's going to get wiped out, and this and that, and 99%. Okay, yeah, but if you really think about what 1% is of this number here, which is 1.8 million. I don't have my contacts on. 1% of that is still a lot. And some of you can only list up to 10 off the top of your head. The last time we did the math calculation, when this was at like, I think it was at 900,000 or 900, I forget, I don't know if it was 800 or 900, but it wasn't at 1 million yet. When we did the calculation, 1% was like, what was it? I don't even remember, but it was like maybe 200 something, or I think 200 something, around that. That's still a lot. That's a lot. And many of you can't, and I can't even list even 100 off the top of my head. So that just shows you, if 99% get wiped out, good, because that's 99%. That's trash. Like it's not, there's no proper use, no proper utility, and those aren't the ones you want to be investing in anyways. So it shouldn't worry you, and it's totally normal. So again, that's why it's good to be educated and familiar. This website, you definitely want to look into different things, because it has the historical snapshots. If you ever really want to look and compare, it'll blow your mind when you look at historical snapshots. If you look at, let's say, here. If you're curious to see like what are some recently added ones, you can see that here too. You could look into them. This obviously shows you too what exchanges they're listed on. But it's a really great site to explore cryptocurrency. And if you're on, I keep calling it Twitter. If you're on X, I don't like calling it X. I prefer Twitter. I don't know. I just don't like that. But if you're on there, especially, who knows what a whale is? And I'm talking about like crypto terms. What's a whale? Larger holder. Okay. So there's a term. So a lot of people in the crypto space will say they like to look at the crypto whales. And basically what this is, people, it's people that have like, hold on a sec. Did my screen just close? Okay. It's people that have a lot of money in they have a large crypto portfolio. Hold on a sec. Here, okay. So it's people that have a large crypto portfolio, and generally they're the ones that people are watching to see what they're buying into. Because there are people that have a lot of money, like a lot. I'm not talking about just a few thousand or even just a million. Like I'm talking about millions, 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 millions. And people will generally look at what they're doing to see, okay, what move should I make? Or like they people look at them and say, oh, let's look at the crypto whales. Johan, that sounds like a Google search. Did you copy and paste? You guys are funny. Yeah. So that's exactly it. And that's why on Twitter, I'm still gonna call it Twitter. There are a lot of crypto accounts you can follow. And there's actually one that I follow that's called what is it here that I recommend? My screen's frozen. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Because the new iPhone is out, so my phone is not functioning. Whoever gets that gets it. So yeah. There are a lot of accounts. I think it's called it's not crypto whales. What is it? I'll send it in the chat. I'll send it in the chat so you guys can check it out, those of you that are on Twitter, because they give a lot of good updates on what's going on in the crypto space, especially those of you that are really looking to dabble in. Twitter is always the first one to know of everything. Anything you see on TikTok is already old news. If you see someone posting something on TikTok, Twitter knew it first. It's just the crypto community on Twitter is so big. And if you really want to learn about what's going on when it comes to either, let's say, the government or anything to do with countries implementing regulations, or maybe this country legalized Bitcoin or whatever, Twitter is always the first one. And that's why I like to stay up to date. Are you guys joking around here? Okay. And so, yeah, I definitely recommend it. I will send it in the chat for those of you that are curious about it. I'll send probably, yeah, just one account. There's just one account that I look at that always keeps me in the loop. And they're really good. So what I'm going to do is then I think it's almost 8. I'll just wrap it up here. The previous training that I was talking about, that I was thinking of doing, but it's actually on the Champions Universe, the Champions YouTube channel. I go more in depth into coin market cap, how to calculate that, if you're more into like the numbers thing, and a few other things to look at when it comes to analyzing crypto or like the different cryptocurrencies. If you want to become more aware of that, I could always do an updated training another day on that, looking at the real numbers from today, because that one was like, I think over a year, I think a year ago that I did that. And it definitely wasn't what it is today. So we could always do that later on. I would love to do something on the stock market, because I feel like it would be cool to have something on that too. But I mean, there's a lot of time. I think it's just me and Edwin doing these calls. So we'll interchange and we'll do something, we'll figure it out. But there's a lot. Again, you guys want to leverage the university. Everything is there. A lot of the stuff we talk about, you can find there, but just what we share here is more, it's enhanced in a way where it's more engaging, more interactive. And obviously we present it in a way that anyone can understand. I don't like to complicate things too much because if there's someone new here that literally started yesterday, they're not gonna, I don't want to talk all these terminologies, using all these technical terms, because I want to make these Champion U calls fair for everybody. And I know Edwin does a good job at that too. He really breaks it down very nicely. But yeah, if you're new here, again, these calls happen every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We go over different things. Generally, Edwin goes over Forex a lot and like the monetary stuff and the financial markets, and he'll even get into like the political aspects of things, and his talks are always great. I generally cover more the crypto side, and I like to go more in depth with things. If you guys, by the way, have specific topics about crypto, let's say that you want to know more about, just drop it in the chat. Drop it in Champions U. I want you guys to use Champions U as also a communicative outlet, where if you want a certain topic about crypto or Forex or even stocks, just drop it in there. Because a lot of times we're trying to figure out what topics do they want to learn more about or hear more about. And I know we have new members every single week, so some things might be a little repetitive, but just let us know. Let us know, because obviously we wanna deliver. We want to deliver what you guys want to hear, listen, or learn about. Cool. Can you guys do that? Awesome. Cool. So we'll wrap it up here. Have a great rest of your, what is it, Tuesday? And I'll be seeing you guys next Tuesday. Bye.